Okay guys, this is going to be a very short video, just right to the point. I want to show you that I think it's very possible we're going to get a move within the next few days, at least by the end of this week. I'll show you why this is the case. Obviously you can see we're in this pattern right now. If we break to the upside, that is going to be bullish, obviously. If we break to the downside, well, we're breaking below that line that I'm saying could possibly be the point where the bubble could pop. But there are other ways to look at this pattern. I'll show you this as a very simple strategy for catching these points when we push up to find out where we get rejected, when we drop, or we hold support. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. And I'm gonna, guys. I know I talk about CoinCatch and the video, the tutorial video in my website, so I'm gonna spare you that for right now. I'll cover that into this video. I just want to get right into this and show you what I see playing out. So the last video I put up, guys, I know it was a very long video. It was an hour and 8 minutes long. I understand a lot of people don't have time to watch the video that long, but it took me that long to make my case and explain to you why I'm expecting what I'm expecting to play out. So obviously, if you have some free time and you can watch the whole video, I suggest you do. You know, you could put it on at a 2x speed or something like that, and it'll only be a 30-minute long video, but I'd be talking very fast. But I needed it needed to be a long video because I needed to show everything, and there was a lot to cover. So I'll put a link to this video if you want to check it out. So yesterday I put this video up. So all I want to point out is you can see we are currently in a pattern. And this line right here, as I said, this is the line in the sand for me. If this ends up being, and this is your support level, if we drop down, and we'll probably hold support, we might break below it. But as I said, if we drop below this, so let's say we break down from this pattern, you know, we might come down, hold support, we push back up, this could be resistance. And if we break this at any point on the daily or the weekly, this becomes resistance. As I said, I believe the bubble has popped and we have some downside. Now, that does not have to play out. You know, we could actually drop back down to this. It was a fake out. Then if we push back up into this pattern, that is actually very bullish. A lot of times it'll be a fake out. We push back up into the pattern, then you break out, and we have a lot of upside. I do want to show you, this is another chart. This is the D1 chart. Now, we are very low on the RSI. This is the daily. You can see the MACD is not looking so bullish. But you can see that these Bollinger Bands right here, you can see this Bollinger Band right here. You can see that they're starting to get squeezed. This top Bollinger Band, bottom Bollinger Band. And typically this plays out on the hourly, the daily, the weekly. As these Bollinger Bands start getting squeezed, that indicates a move is coming. And if you'll notice right here, where I have this this marked off, 118,250, we are now below the central Bollinger Band on the daily. So that is currently your resistance. I have red as short, green as long, but because we're so close to it, I have it grayed out. That lets people know, just pay attention to that area to see if it becomes support or resistance. But right now, because the Bollinger Bands are getting squeezed, and because we are in this pattern, this pennant formation, these are daily candles. Before we get to the end of that, that's about 5 days. Typically, these break out way before the end, so it could be pretty soon, in the next couple days. Before we go on further, I just want to show you how you can play these patterns. So while yes, you know, we could break to the upside and push up, or break to the downside and drop, another way you can look at these patterns is you could take, and this is how many traders trade, this is how I trade as well. So what you would do is you take the top of the pattern, you would clone this and bring it down and see where it matches price. You can see clearly a lot of confluence. Let me get an arrow tool. You see a lot of confluence here. This is the meat of the candles below this point. Same here. You see meat of the candles above. Nice wick here. Almost touched it. Wick here. Wick here. So that looks like that'd be the bottom of the channel. Now the thing is, if we break below this area right here, right? Well, that's going to send us below 116,173. Now, if we push back above that and hold support, we'll see what happens. But if we do break to the downside of this pattern, and we get below 116,173, then like I said, we're breaking back below this line. I'm not going to rehash this. I covered this in that last video. Go back and watch it if you want a breakdown of everything. But as I said, if we start getting daily, weekly opens below 116,173, then this was nothing more than we just overshot this resistance level as a bull trap or fake out. And then if we get below that, that means the bubble did pop. Obviously, if we break to the upside, you know, the top of this pattern is right now around 119,250. And I told you in that last video, if we get above and stay above, stay bullish above 116K, if we continue up, I told you what your next target above was. I gave you a higher target. I will tell you this. Your next first major target above is 132. In that previous video, I showed you the target above that, which if we continue up, that is a most likely target. And that's way above 132K. But watch that previous video if you want that target. But I just want to point out we're in this pattern. So as I said, if we drop, you're looking at potentially a target of around, and the only reason I say this is because you can see there's a lot of confluence. Now I could bring this down further. You get some confluence here. You can see that you have a wick here and you have a wick here. The more confluence I have, it gives me more confidence in the fact that that level will hold. So this might hold at 113,000, but since I only have 2 points of contact, I feel better putting it about right here because you can see there's a lot more confluence. And even though we wicked below, you can see there's a lot more areas where price respected it, and that's why I would prefer to have that line right there. So that's like 115,000. But again, if we did not get above 116,000, if we drop below, then that means we could see some more downside. The next most key support level I have below, you can see how well price respects these fib lines, is down around 110,800. And if we break below that, well, we have the top of this pattern we broke out of, plus you have this fib line here. That's going to put you down around 106,730. Look, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but whatever happens, it's good to have these targets, especially if you're scalping or using leverage. We know above 119,000, well, that's going to be bullish, and we're probably heading up to so much higher targets, which I covered in the previous video. But since we're in this pattern, we need to find out if we break to the downside or the upside. But again, just like I showed you breaking to the downside, well, you can do the same thing. You take the bottom of this, right? So we're just going to make this a different color, make it stand out. So, if we break down from this pattern, we could drop further, but this would just end up being, instead of a pennant formation, it would be a descending channel. If we break to the upside, guys, again, always use this strategy because it works. Look for confluence. It's harder here to find confluence. I think, I'm doing this on the fly, guys. Actually, I see a lot of confluence here. Not as much. It's harder to figure this one out. You can see that there's a wick here, a wick here, a wick here, a wick here. You can see the meat of the candles above. You can see that the meat of the candles are below. So that could be a potential point to pay attention to. But typically, price is going to go higher. So finding out the top of this, if this is an ascending channel, that's a little harder to nail down. So again, I can't really give you much on that. But at least if we drop, I can tell you that would be a support level to pay attention to. And we can confirm this with another chart to see if there's any support around 115,000. But just remember that is a way you can play patterns. A lot of people think, oh, well, we're going to break out of a pennant formation and we're going to go up, as much as we did here, like a bull flag. It's not always the case. Sometimes you'll be in a pattern and then they'll trick you and you end up being in another pattern. Just want to point that out. But as I said, because we are in this pattern, and again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days till we get to the apex. Typically break out these patterns a lot sooner. So again, the Bollinger Bands are getting squeezed. As I said before in the last video and video before that, this is your main support level, and we did hold support right here. You can see 117,300. So that needs to hold, guys. If we break that and 117,300 becomes resistance, at least according to this chart, the D1 chart, well, then we're probably looking at some downside. And I can tell you this, the next downside target I have on this chart, depending when you make contact, is down around maybe 112,000 if it takes longer, 111,200 if it happens sooner. But I do expect a move to happen soon. This always happens. Go back and look historically on the 30-minute, hour, 2-hour, whatever. When you start seeing these Bollinger Bands start getting squeezed, that's a hint a move is coming. So 117,500 looks like your current support. But take note, we are below the center Bollinger Band on the daily. And just so you have this price level, the bottom Bollinger Band on the daily setting around 160,300, and the Bollinger Band around on the top is 120,131. So what I'm saying, expect a move soon, whether to the upside or the downside, we'll see. I can't tell you this: if we push up, your next major resistance level to pay attention to is going to probably be up near our previous all-time high. Our previous all-time high was around 123,263. But that will be a resistance. This line right here, this goes back a good ways. This has been respected quite well. We have had wicks above, but the meat of the candle typically stays below this point. Those are the main levels to pay attention to. This is the H1 chart, and when in the previous video, I did add this line right here as a possible rejection point. I do up these charts as price moves along, and basically I just clone these. I just have a line because I mapped out the direction of price. I just take that line and I clone it and I bring it down to match price action, and that does match price action. But then you can bring it down here where we got topped out. You see that also matches price action as well. You can see that we got a nice bounce here. You can see it was all support through here, support through here, support through here, support here, resistance here, a lot of support and resistance, and then we got rejected and came down. So again, you can use my charts. These are shareable charts. I'll cover this at the end of this video, guys. I just want to share this with you so you have the information you need, at least on the hourly. So I did update in Discord, and I did add this line right here, just showing that this was potentially, and this again, it's just a trend line I added. But that is your current resistance right now. Well, actually, current resistance right now is 118,442. Your resistance above that will be around 120,120. You can see that. We got rejected there. Notice we found support. So basically, this line right here, this previous resistance, flipped that support, rejected, flipped that support, 117,333. So your next support level is going to be around 116,897. And if it takes longer, well, we have a lot of support here because this is where you should have gone long, down around 115,300. We just drop all the way to 114,000, well, 115,000. But this is a very strong support level. You can see back here. You can see how much it was respected. This was resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke above it, we shot up. So we know that that is a very key level. And that's why I'm saying 116K is a very, very important level. This is 116,600 around that area. Obviously, if that becomes resistance, well, then we know we're headed down to some lower targets. This is a very, very important level around 112,736. So as of now, at least it looks like we're coming down to test this line again, 116,613. Again, these are just points to scalp on the hourly, but the point is I just wanted to make you aware that because these Bollinger Bands are getting squeezed, the next daily open time recording this video is 8 hours and 44 minutes, so that's going to get squeezed even more. So we could get a major move today, tomorrow, but it's going to be soon. Whether it's to the upside or the downside, we'll have to see. And as I said, we're in this pattern, so we're either going to break to the downside or the upside. In that previous video, I also covered the DXY, guys. Please go back and watch that video. I explained why this support level here around 96.71 is such a key level, and you can see we are holding above that level now. You can see the DXY, we're just above a resistance level. So if that holds a support, your next resistance is around 101.58 or 101.058. So as you can see, the dollar is pushing up, and I showed you historically, even though the dollar has been dropping quite a bit, if you look in the larger time frame, the dollar is actually in an uptrend. And I covered a lot of things about the US dollar, so please go back and watch that video. There's a lot of important information that you need to understand why I'm expecting a certain outcome. I do hope you watch that video. This is the other DXY chart, and you can just see this is just a trend line I found. We held support here. So in my opinion, we have held a critical support for the US dollar. And if that continues to play out, multiple charts for the DXY show that we are at a critical support level. As long as we hold that level and continue up, that will be bearish for markets and bearish for Bitcoin. If 96.9 breaks, or as I said, this 96.73, if that breaks and becomes resistance, that will be super bullish for Bitcoin, super bullish for gold, super bullish for the markets. In that previous video, I did cover oil, gold, a lot of other indicators and there's going to be a big move for oil soon. I will keep you posted as that plays out. And then this brings me to this chart here, which basically that entire video, that hour hour and 8 long video that I made yesterday. All basically was explaining this chart. Take note that we just got a rejection at this red ring. Now I do not believe that we will, it's possible, but I don't think we will get rejected. We did get a rejection at this ring. You can see right here, we got a rejection at this ring, and we could come back down, hold support around maybe 44,035, push up and break that ring. Maybe we push up to 146,000. Maybe we go higher, but as I said, I'm waiting before I decide that I want to open puts on the markets. I want to wait until we, potentially we'll do something like this, because that white line is support, that red ring will be resistance. Once we push above it, put it a new all-time high, however high we go, once we come back down and hold support on this ring and then push up, that will be confirmation that we are respecting this ring. And I'm not going to zoom out, watch the previous video. But at that point, that will be confirmation that that was the top, and that is when I will start putting in puts. And I will have those puts go out for quite a bit, because as I mentioned, if we are going to drop, I expect us to move down this ring, which means that time frame before we potentially could drop could be anywhere from, this could be a long drawn out bear market. This could go on for 600 days, maybe 840, 828 days. So you might want to wait longer until we make contact with this. I'll keep you updated when I decide to open puts on the NASDAQ, S&P, and the Dow Jones. But I am waiting to push above it, because I think we'll get one more below off top. There's no guarantee that happens. We could just move down from here. But again, if you compare the previous cycle, and I showed you, or in that previous video, I said that I showed you the cut down version of this chart. And you can see how much it took to create this chart. If you watch previous video, you see the simplified version. But we're getting very close to, these are our weekly candles. This can take time to play out. But I did make my case why I believe what happened at this ring right here, where price had a major drop. The same thing will take place at this ring here. And again, that is why that last video ran so long. But I want to make sure that you have your key levels and understand that a big move will be coming soon, because we are in a pattern. This is a pennant formation. It could break to the upside or the downside. Typically, if this is a pennant formation, this is a bullish pattern. If we break to the downside, though, based on how much we would drop, we will be dropping below that line that goes back since 2017. And as I said, if we are underneath that daily, weekly, then I think this was nothing more than a fake out, and that would be confirmation that the bubble has popped. We have much more further down to go. In the meantime, as I said, stay bullish above 116,100, around that area. And guys, I said, as I told you, I would say this to the end. CoinCatch still has their specials going on. There's plenty of slots still available, 30 slots every 7 days. This is the events page. I'll put a link up to it now. If you deposit $1,000 USDT, you'll receive 5,000 USDT back. It gives you $6,000 margin to trade with. They have lower tiers, $500 you deposit, you receive a $1,250 deposit. That's $1,750 margin to trade with. That's 300 slots every 7 days. If you do receive and get your deposit, you can also get free access to my charts in Discord. I do have a link pinned first comment description how to claim your bonus, so do check out the pinned comment, very first pinned comment. If you want to use my affiliate link, sign up. I will put a link up to that now. And again, guys, if you want to learn how to CoinCatch, I created this video showing how to create your account, how to transfer funds into your account, transfer USDT into your futures account. And again, when you make your deposit, if you want to take advantage of that bonus, that money needs to be in your futures account. So if you want the $5,000 bonus, you need to have $1,000 in your futures account until the payout. I think this event ends in about 3 days, so you're running out of time to set up, create your account, transfer funds into it. But if you want to learn how to trade on CoinCatch, I cover all the tools I use, how I protect myself, the difference between limit order, trigger order, and many other things. So do watch this video if you want to learn how to trade on CoinCatch. And even if you are an avid trader, this might teach you how to use some tools, because all of the exchanges are pretty much the same. I'll put a link up to this now if I haven't already. And guys, if you do want to get access to these charts, and I keep everyone updated, even if you only get access to the Bitcoin charts, altcoin charts, and Discord, precious metals, I do keep everyone updated about stocks as well. And I do have tutorials teaching my charting method. You can pay with USDT to get access to any of this, but you will need to contact me through the contact page, and then I'll send you a USDT address if you want to get access. And if you do sign up, guys, make sure that you contact me through the contact page of the website. I'll verify you have an account, and then I'll send you a Discord invite link so you can join. But just want to let you know, expect a big move soon. We are now testing the bottom of this pennant formation, and obviously we have wicks below. It's hard to nail down, but just because you can see we got a nice bounce here. You know, these were very close. Nice contact here, perfect contact here, and we got a bounce from this point. I think that is likely the bottom of that pennant formation. So do we break it and it becomes resistance? Do we hold support at 116,173? Or does that break? And like I said, guys, this is a very important level. If we get below this level, in my opinion, that means this was just, we just overshot this line to get people bullish. And then again, if we're below this point and we start going lower, then in my opinion, this was nothing more than a fake out and the bubble has popped. Otherwise, if we continue up, watch that last video. I showed you how high I expect this to go if this is a super cycle. But yeah, guys, expect a move soon. We're in a pattern. We're at the bottom of it, and we are getting a squeeze on the Bollinger Bands. That is one indicator of a possible move. That's pretty much it, guys. To the next video. Jay Smart. I'm out.